The more subscribers, the more connections that you have online, the more people want to sponsor you. Now, I've heard Twitter mentioned a fair amount. So, alright, so one thing, YouTube, numbers, subscribers and video views, those are great. Now, another thing, I've heard Twitter mentioned a fair amount, followers on Twitter. I guess that's just another number that sponsors look at, so something to keep in mind. I don't know how relevant that really is. Let's look at what you might need to do other than those, YouTube and Twitter. Those are kind of totally different stories. Let's look at some things that you might need to do to be able to get sponsored, become more sponsorable. And that's the key, is you want to become sponsorable. You want to be a personality. And if you're not naturally like an extroverted kind of person, if you're not that social, I was not that social when I was in high school. And now I'm pretty social. And the reason for that is I decided that I would talk. I wanted to get sponsored, and I wanted to be a pro, and I wanted to be an online personality if I could. And so my attempts to do that have been, making these YouTube videos, but that was later on in the process. What it starts with, if you don't feel comfortable talking to people around you, like people on the street or just strangers, if you don't feel comfortable connecting with your peers, then get comfortable with it. And it may seem hard to do, and it is hard. It's hard at first, but really, if you have that desire, then that'll drive you to do it. If you have the desire to go pro, this is one of the things that it takes. You have to become more social if you're not social already. So, if you're like at a stoplight crossing the street on the way to the store or on the way to class, if you're in college or whatever, just talk to the people around you. Start a conversation. And that's something, you just do it over and over again, and you learn gradually. And it is something that can be learned. It's not something that's inherent. It's not something where some people are just social and some people are destined to be antisocial for their entire life. I don't think that's true at all, because I was not social at all during high school, and now I'm totally comfortable talking to people. And the reason is just because I made myself do it over and over again. At stoplights, in class, I used to not even talk to people next to me in class. I talk to people next to me in class, and it's simple stuff like that. Just get practice talking to everybody you can, because then if you happen to get a meeting with a sponsor, and they're interviewing you essentially for candidacy for sponsorship, then you'll be able to tell them, hey, you'll be able to show them. It's not about telling them. The words you say don't matter as much as how you say them. If you're interesting and you're likable personality, they're a lot more likely to sponsor that than somebody who just talks in a voice like this all the time, and they can't really say anything in a voice like, no, dude, it's not. Don't do that. Just to make yourself stop doing that. I actually had to force myself to stop talking in this tone of voice all the time, because I realized that people would lose interest. Nobody wants to listen to me talk like this all the time. See what I'm saying? Now, I'm still getting better at it, but I think I've definitely come a long way. And it's something I hope to continue to improve on. And that's the kind of attitude I think that it takes for just any random guy that wants to go pro, live a lifestyle, get sponsored. That's the kind of thing it takes. You have to be willing to change however you need to change. And I'll give you another example. That of a way that I've tried to change myself is the way that I dress. In high school, I used to wear sweatpants up until junior year of high school, and I'm not talking about being a jock and wearing you're the basketball player and you're wearing sweatpants and you're cool because everybody loves you anyways. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just sweatpants that I didn't even know that they were that's like a sign of not giving a shit. That's how disconnected I was and just out of touch. So go ahead and shop for yourself. Buy some clothes that fit you instead of letting your mom buy them for you, which is what I did throughout high school and almost until the beginning of college. Go out, buy some clothes. The way you dress matters, and it's a kind of a sad reality, because I wish that you didn't have to spend money to make people like you and want to be around you. But the fact is that the way that people look at you absolutely does matter. The first impression that somebody gets of you is typically what they see. And if they don't like what they see, then it casts a negative light upon the entire relationship, and it's not impossible to get over, of course. But people that take attention to their appearance, that pay attention to their appearance, will prosper from that because they give people a positive first impression. And one thing that I didn't realize for a little while was that the audience of your dress matters. You have to dress for an audience just like you design a speech for an audience. And now that's kind of intuitive. Like if you're at a concert, you're probably wearing formal wear. I'm talking about like a choir concert or something. Now if you're at a rock concert, you can dress up in chains, jeans, ripped jeans, low-cut t-shirt, whatever. Hell, you don't even have to have a shirt on. And that's like good. That's probably a good thing at a rock concert. Now, if you're at school, that's not going to cut it with the principals and the teachers. So make sure to adjust it to your audience. Like people your age probably want to just see, I don't know, pretty casual clothes. Or what I'm wearing right now would be totally fine. But what a sponsor might want to see is an ability to show some, discipline and respect at key times. So maybe dress just a little bit nice, like business casual. Or like you guys probably wouldn't even really care if I was wearing just a white t-shirt or like a white undershirt, whatever. Could be in my underwear for all you care. You don't even see below my waist. But the sponsor, they see, you as a whole. They see everything from your head to your shoes. So pay attention to your appearance. And that was something that was hard for me to come to terms with at first. Realizing that I had to accept that appearances matter. And just change myself. And some people don't want to, and I will understand. I would totally understand if you do not want to do that. But it will give you an advantage if you're willing to take the steps to make yourself the big picture that the sponsor wants to see, and not just the sponsor, but it's also about the community. You guys wouldn't have liked me in high school. I'm gonna be honest, and you might not like me now. I mean, hell, I'm not saying anything like that. Dude, I really just want to eat my ramen. I'm gonna wrap this up so I can eat this freaking pinto beans and ramen. So hopefully that has been helpful, clues as to how you can improve yourself, how you can change yourself, and what sponsors want to look for. And these aren't just sponsorship things. These are also just general success in the gaming world. Kids at tournaments might not respect you if you're not wearing the right kind of clothes. And it's something that I'm going to continue to work on, because I know that I can still do better. It's hard to get the money sometimes, but just do your best. Look at your whole picture. You can't just ignore some part of yourself and hope that the sponsor is going to ignore it too, because that's not the case. They look at your whole picture. So you have to improve the basic 3 things that you want your sponsor to see. You want them to see tournament, or like performance. Let's say performance or skill level. You want them to see connections. So that's online. That's like networking. So that's YouTube. That's Twitter. That's your stream followers. Maybe Facebook likes, possibly. That's probably not as big in the gaming world, as in like the music world or something. So you have skill performance. You have connections online, and then you have like representation in real life or at tournaments. So appearance, essentially. Skill, online connections, appearance. And those are the 3 keys. And then your letter needs to cover those things. Your letter that you send to sponsors needs to cover those things. And I'll bring up one more thing that letter should cover. You need to lay out specific expenses that you want for the trip that you're asking to be sponsored for. You want to probably start out asking sponsorship for 1 trip. And then you want to lay out the expenses you have for that trip. You want to think about travel costs, your event pass or your team pass if you're going to MLG, travel costs, event costs, and maybe jerseys or something like that. And jerseys, sponsors like to see the option for jerseys and let them know that they can put their brand on this jersey and get some branding going at these events. So that's just about it. I just wanted to get this video done. I've been meaning to put one up for a while, but I really gotta catch up here and start putting up more regularly. So it's done. It's not Monday anymore. Hey, it's actually my birthday. February 14th. That's my birthday. Like, happy birthday. Subscribe. Birthday present to me. Or don't. Whatever. You don't know me. You don't owe me anything. Later, guys. Peace out. I hope I was helpful. Sponsor. Get it.